No, Mama, this is not how you do it. Just sit down. I wonder what God would say if He calls us to remember how we were when we were children. Oh, I thought I knew it all too. I would say, Mom and Dad, they don't know nothing. But until you become an adult and have your own family, then you realize how much your parents knew.
Yes, 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 yes. Come on now, say so. Say so, say so, say so. Oh, yes. Hmm.
Do we refuse to have teachable spirits? Teachable spirits. Don't have to understand it all. Just be teachable. Be a learner. With God, the true learning and knowledge comes in the journey, not the destination. We learn on life journey. With God is not about graduating. It's about learning. Always being teachable, just as we as individuals should never graduate. And as the church, we must never graduate. The church is a living relationship with God as well. Peter thought he had graduated. He believed he had the answer, but God has more to teach him. Peter's loyalty was with the law. God challenged what Peter thought and he understood. It isn't like God to spring something entirely new out of character. But Jesus had already told the disciples that they were to share the gospel, share the good news, share what you've learned, share my word, share your experience. But Peter and the others had not understood. They thought they were to learn and then go fishing. Jesus said, I call you to be fishermen of men. I think that's what he's saying to us. No matter what we've done in life, we've got to learn how to catch a fish. You know, that son of man, that son of boy, that son of girl, and how to approach them. And sometimes that means getting in their space. Sometimes that means applying a little empathy. You don't know how it feels sometimes until you put yourself in the other person's place. We must not make our preference God's precepts. Some of you may regard the invitation time as an opportunity for those who have unfinished business. You know, you're sitting in the church on Sunday morning and the pastor open the doors of the church. It's invitation time. And everybody looking at everybody else. I was at a church service and I was way down front and the pastor called for invitation. I got up and I went to the front and everybody looking at me like I thought he was a pastor. That's right. But I responded to the invitation because you never get enough. Lord, I need a refill. I need a refresh. And I never forget that Sunday morning. As long as I live, just about everybody came to the altar. Sometimes we got to live by example. I wasn't too holy to go and ask the Lord to refill me, to touch me. Lord, I've sinned and come short of your glory. Everybody knew that I was not a saint. So why am I sitting there pretending that I got it all together? Jesus wants to get into our boats, church. He wants us to be vulnerable. Jesus wants to rock your boat, change your mind, change your attitude, change your perspective.
Yes.
Christ wants to be invited to come into our hearts and teach us new things. But there needs to be an openness. He's not going to knock the door down. But when your mind, your heart is open, he will come in and sup with you. Come in and teach you. A faith that believes that God will never harm you. He will never throw you into the deep without making sure you can stay afloat. Yeah, we've been around little small children, and when they're exposed to something new, they have never seen before, or they can't understand because it's complicated. And there is immediate curiosity with children trying to understand what they don't know, even with a toy or with something they've never seen before. Their curiosity takes place, and that's the way we ought to be about God. You can almost see in your mind's eyes inside that child's little head spinning, wanting hunger for learning. Jesus said to us today, "Come unto me, all of you that labor and are heavy laden. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light." He wants us to be learners and teachers. I'm closing. Are you still awed by God? Are you curious to know more about our Creator? If not, I cannot be, because God ceases to be amazing any longer. We do not stand in amazement at God, or do not hunger for more experience with God. He can only be originating in us. In 1999, John Stanford, the superintendent of Seattle school system, was facing one of the most toughest battles of his life. He discovered that he had leukemia. And before his death, he inspired the people of Seattle to believe in the public school system again and to work to change it. And when people would ask him how he was doing or how the school was doing, he would say something like perfect and improving. Perfect and improving. Think about that. What would the church be like when people ask, "How y'all doing around there at ICC?" We're perfect, but improving. What about in your life? How you feel today? That perks you up. How you? Oh, I'm so tired. I'm tired. You can talk yourself into sickness. How you doing? Great. Great. Never felt better. Something happens. How wonderful a response this would be for our own spiritual journeys. Perfect. I'm perfect and improving. Well, that perked me up this week when I was working on my sermon, because I was finding myself always complaining, always finding something wrong. And Reverend, you okay? Just think about some other folk who are worse off than you are. Come on, man. Lighten up. You're not that bad off. You're still halfway good looking. You got some problem with your body, you're getting old and can't move. You still got 2 feet, 2 legs, and 2 arms. You got all of that stuff that you can work with. Get off it, Rev. I said, perhaps we can never graduate from the Lord's teaching. Always learning and always achieving. That saying that, if you can believe it, you can achieve it. Always making that move on your list of life. Graduation has always been something to achieve, not only with young people, but with all of us. Jesse Jackson says, stop buying fish for a meal, learn how to fish for life. Graduation is for a day. Learning is for life. God bless you. Go now in love and peace. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Don't just graduate, keep on learning day by day.
That's right. That's
Jesus is calling us to be fishermen of men.
all right.
Recording stopped.
Take the yoke. Let's give Pastor a